other big names in the tech sector reporting earnings later today. Alibaba, as well as you just heard, as well as Amazon and Microsoft after the close. We're going to talk more about what's going on online right now with the CEO of Chegg, Dan Rosensweig, with us in the studio. Dan, good to see you.
Good morning,
Thanks
Maria.
so much for joining us. So when you look at what's going on Facebook right now, tell us what that tells us about the entire online universe, because you're running Chegg. I want you to explain to viewers exactly what Chegg does, but you're also former CEO of Yahoo.
Yeah, and I was the good fortune to meet Mark when he was 20 years old and to introduce Cheryl to Mark many, many years ago. So obviously I'm a big fan. And as you know, we tried to buy them at Yahoo for $1 billion, and now they do $1 billion in earnings a quarter. So
that would have been nice, huh?
I'm beginning to think Mark's on to something. Look, I think the overall message is scale wins. The internet is all about scale, and so whether it's in commerce, it's Amazon, in advertising, it's Google for search advertising and performance advertising, and Facebook is just first buy, biggest buy. So if you're going to market online, you're going to start with your first buy on Facebook, and you're going to keep buying there because their reach is so big, their multiple platforms are so big, their knowledge of the customer is so strong that you can just keep buying, and then everybody else becomes the second buy. So the gap between them and everybody else is just getting bigger, and it's only going to get bigger. It reminds me of sort of when Google really started to come up, or even when I was at Yahoo in 2002, 2003, the big guys begin to separate themselves from the pack, and you're beginning to see it. So nobody, we call it mobile advertising. It's just advertising for Facebook. They're on the phone. That's where everybody uses it. So, of course, it's mobile advertising. So, the marketer doesn't say, I want to buy Facebook for mobile. They say, I want to reach my audience. Facebook knows more about them than anybody. I'm just going to keep buying on Facebook until I can't buy anymore.
And that's the point that Andy made earlier, the fact that they've got these measurement tools that tell the client, this is how many people are using Facebook right now, and this is what they did after they saw your ad.
Look, we spend a lot of money online marketing, and our first two buys are always going to be Facebook and Google until somebody proves it differently.
So, Dan, are you saying the gap between Facebook and everybody else is just so great that nobody's ever going to be able to chip away at them?
Well, what I've learned in the tech sector is you can't say no one's ever going to be able to chip away at that. Because technology changes so much, the understanding of data, ad networks, how to match things. But it reminds me of when Google began its surge that unless somebody can dethrone them, why would you try to market anywhere else? They have an extraordinary management team. They have an extraordinary sales team under Carolyn Everson. I mean, it's just, they're hitting on all cylinders. I think the numbers reflect that. They did $1 billion in profits in a quarter, and Yahoo's at $952 million for the year. And that's down from when I left from $1.5 billion. So one's going one way, one's going the other way. I just think it tells the whole story.
Yeah, it does, and that's why it's a constant question out there, is she going to have to sell?
Right.
Yahoo. Let me ask you about Chegg. I mean, it makes such sense to me that why would students buy these big, heavy textbooks when they can just rent them?
Yeah, well, I think the evidence is showing they don't want to buy them. Look, they've never wanted to buy them. I have a 22-year-old who just graduated. She works at BuzzFeed, and my 20-year-old's still in college. And even if you can afford them, why would you? So why would you pay $300 for something you can rent for $40 or $37?
Right. Yeah, I've got a kid in college. I just went through this process, and actually starting 2 years ago, and it's like, forget buying it. Why would you want to buy it? The kid's not going to have it after he's done, so renting is absolutely the way to go. But there's some pretty big margins in the rental space, right?
Well, they're beginning to be big margins in the rental space, but we always knew. When I joined the company a little less than 6 years ago, we had a 4-day-a-year relationship, rent, return. Good business for a transaction business, but not a big platform. So in the last 5 years, we've changed this. So we help students match to colleges. Colleges pay us to recruit them because we know more about them than anybody, much like Facebook. But then we get them the required materials for cheaper, online or offline. We help them with their homework help. We have the largest online tutoring marketplace, largest internship database. It's all about outcomes and return on investment, and we're trying to help them do that.
You also you have also data on free scholarships, and in this world of such student debt, how do you see it?
Well, look, the largest search for a high school student online before they go to college is scholarships. So that tells you everything. $1.3 trillion in debt. You can't refinance government loans, which is crazy. 60% of our customers have loans. They graduate with $28,000 on average in loans. The economy isn't great. They're not getting paid a lot of money. We're literally forcing the future generations of this country to pay off the debts of their parents and grandparents. It's unfair. It's unnecessary, by the way. And if it was a free market economy, they could actually refinance these for much less.
And really important insights. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Dan Rosensweig, Chegg. We'll be right back.